Nicholas at Jewel. So there's a whole lot of it if you want some.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Ayin in the Shabbos. So we left off the two dots, literally the last three words on the bottom of Samach Testament Beis. So we're going back to discussing our Mishnah. Our Mishnah was very Yesodistic of Mishnah in terms of situations when a person could be chayiv one chatos, or chayiv for each and every Shabbos, or chayiv for each and every malacha. It depends on the case. So we're discussing the last two cases, and the Gemara starts off with, let's go to the top of Ayin Amud Aleph. It says, Maishna, Reishna, Maishna, Seifa. What's the difference between the Reishna and the Seifa? And as Rashi, just look at the top Rashi, right? So what's the reason with Reishna? There's Shigas, Shabbos, V'zod, and Malachas. One is Shogeg on Shabbos, and Mezid when it comes to Malachas. So in other words, the way to remember it is whatever is Shogeg, that's what you bring the Chatas for. So if a person is Shigas Shabbos, he is shogeg on the Shabbos. He does not realize that it's Saturday, right? But he knows about malachas, right? Lo mechayev ela achas. He's only chayev one. Lo mechayev ela achas l'chol Shabbos, for each and every Shabbos that he made a mistake. The seifa, the zodan Shabbos shigas malachas, and the seifa in the third case I mentioned, the last case, right, where he knew about Shabbos, he was mezid on Shabbos for shigas malachas, and he was shogeg. He made a mistake when it came to the malachas, doing the actual work. In other words, he didn't realize that was forbidden. Chayiv al kol malacha malachas. He's chayiv each malacha. So the Gemara wants to know, what's the difference between why does sometimes you bring for every Shabbos, and why does sometimes you bring for each and every malacha, which could be more? So Amar Rav Safra, kam yediyas Shabbos hu parish, v'kam yediyas malacha hu parish. So he says like simply, when, in other words, if he realized it was Shabbos, in other words, he didn't realize it was Saturday. Once he realized it was Saturday, then he's no longer going to do any malacha. So therefore, that's one mistake. And the other mistake, in other words, he didn't realize you're not allowed to cook. He knew it was Saturday, but he didn't realize you're not allowed to cook. He didn't realize you're not allowed to grind. He didn't realize you're not allowed to plant, right? So all those things, once he finds out each of those, that's the reason why he's parish. Some of of Nachman, klum parish mishabas el v'shem malachos. But the only reason you don't do, right, in other words, that you're parish and Shabbos, and obviously you don't do malacha on Shabbos, is because of malachos. And obviously you need the combination of Shabbos and malachos, right? The klum parish min malachos el mishum Shabbos, and a person also doesn't, cease to cook and grind and do all the other things unless it's Saturday. So it's a combination of the two. In other words, it's not one without the other. Really, just because it's Saturday, right? The only reason you don't cook is because there was a prohibition to cook on Saturday, right? And so, and there's a prohibition to cook, but that comes only on Saturday. So those two are connected. Rav Nachman, korban dechayiv rachmana mai ashiga, right? Hasam chad ashiga, hacha tuba ashigas havim. So now it comes like this. What's the reason why you bring karbanos? It's because of mistake. Now, when it comes to a single mistake, in other words, I didn't realize it was Saturday, and I did all these other works, so it was one mistake. He didn't make a mistake in cooking and he knew all these things are malachos. He just didn't realize it was Saturday. So since that was one mistake, so therefore he has to bring one chatas. But if it comes, his shogeg was on each and every malacha, he didn't realize, right? You couldn't do all these malachas. So then he made several mistakes. He made a mistake by bishul. He made a mistake by zareya, right? He made a mistake on tchina, right? Grinding. So all these cases, since he has multiple mistakes, you bring multiple chatas. So that's the main difference between why in some cases you bring one is because you just made a single mistake. You didn't know what day was, and the other one was that he made multiple mistakes. Therefore, you bring multiple chatas for each and every malacha that you mistakenly didn't know that you couldn't do.
But isn't that really what Rav Safra was saying at the beginning?
It sort of was, right? But it was he wanted to use the word in terms of parish, right? A person separates. So I mean, we're actually going to see this for again a second time. But one of those is especially with this case, when we have two combining factors. In other words, the reason why he's not cooking on Shabbos is because you're not allowed to cook on Shabbos, which is two things, right? Being Shabbos and not allowed to cook, right? So you can't really say, well, he only didn't separate himself, because it was Saturday, because the reason why he's separating himself from Saturday is because Saturday and you're not allowed to cook on Shabbos. So each one of those is independent, but we want to go on that which his one mistake was. So depending on his mistake, it was very similar, but it was like, saying better, as they say. Fine. So chayav al kol malacha, two dots there. So chiluk malachas minola. Where do we see in the Torah that there's a separation from malachos, that you bring a separate, chatas for each and every violation of Shabbos? There's 39 malachos. So how do you know? So Amar Shmuel, Shmuel says, the pasuk says, Mechalel mos yumas, right? One who violates it, mos yumas, right? He shall surely die. So it's double lashon, mos yumas, right? So HaTorah ribza misas harbe. So the Torah tells you, right, multiple misas, multiple deaths. In other words, you can be chayiv misa multiple times, right, for Shabbos. So so he says, ribza misas harbe al chilul echad, right? So in terms of, even though he's mechalel one Shabbos, he can be chayiv multiple times for that Shabbos. So Gemara says, "Hi, mezik siv." So this pasuk is really talking about b'mezid, right? You only put to death when you do something b'mezid, when you do it purposely. See, so therefore, if we don't already need it for mezid, because there's already a pasuk that says, "Whoever does malacha shall die." So do it for somebody who does something accidentally b'shogeg. Oh my yumas. So what does it mean? Yumas? Yumas b'mamon. It means he will die. In other words, he will die. He will be punished with his money, i.e., bring a chatas. So therefore, it says, since I don't need the pasuk telling me that you shall die for doing malach on Shabbos, so therefore it's not talking about mezid, it's talking about shogeg. And it says mos yumas, multiple deaths. So therefore, multiple deaths really mean multiple punishments of the death of your money, meaning multiple chatos a person can be chayiv. So that was Shmuel bringing his source. Now the Gemara wants to say, why doesn't Shmuel learn with his, with Reb Nassan, who actually learned it out in a different way, in a brisa? The Tanya Reb Nassan Aimer, the pasuk says, "Lo savaru eish b'chol moshvosechem b'yom Shabbos." So the pasuk says, very interesting. It says right after the introduction of malachos, right? I'm just reading the psukim on the side. The first pasuk in Shmos Lamed Hey pasuk Beis, it says Sheishis Yomim Tasa Malach Yom Ashri Yelachem Kodesh Shabbos Shabboson LaHashem Kol Eisa Malacha Yumas. Right, so it says 6 days work and then 7 days Shabbos. And the next pasuk says L'Savara Eish B'Chol Moshe V'Seichem B'Yom Shabbos. And then it mentioned don't kindle a fire. One second. Kindling a fire is part of the malachos of Shabbos. That's what you were just talking about before, right? When you can't do malach on Shabbos, when you can't cook, you can't do all 39 things, of which kindling a fire is one of the malachos. So why is there a separate pasuk? Why all of a sudden was this pasuk singled out? So the pasuk says, "Lo yisvaru eish b'chol moshe v'seichel b'yom Shabbos." Ma tamaloymar. What is it going to teach you? Lefi shenemar vayek Moshe has kol adas b'nei Yisrael elu hadvarim. When Moshe gathered all the congregants of Bnei Israel, and he says, elu hadvarim, these are the things, right, that you need to know, right, that Hashem commanded you to do. Keep your Shabbos. No, that was pasuk aleph over there. Keep your Shabbos, right? It says v'sheishis yomim tasa malacha, right? Then for 6 days you should do work, and the 7th day you should rest. So dvarim, hadvarim, ela hadvarim, right? So the darshan over here, right? The Gemara doesn't really explain it, but Rashi points out. So it says over there, ela hadvarim, right? So it could have said davar, but it called it dvarim. So dvarim is 2, right? Ha dvarim, the extra hey is 3. And then it says the word ela, right? The word ela, the gematria of the word ela, aleph 1, 30, and 5 is 36. 36 plus the 3 is 39. So ela hadvarim, elu shleishim v'tisha malachos shenemar l'Moshe b'Sinai. In other words, ela hadvarim, when he's teaching us, he's saying there's 39 malachos that you're commanded not to do. So you might think we all do them possibly at one time. You can only be chayav for one chatas. Therefore it says, once again, we have stuff singled out, right? The pasuk, the pasuk later on, right? Actually, it was the parak earlier. It mentions, right? I'm reading the pasuk over there. It says, "Sheishis yamim tavod v'yom ashri tishbos v'charich v'chatzir tishbos." 6 days you should work. 7th day you should rest. Rest in your plowing and your harvesting. Once again, why? There's 39 malachos. They didn't mention 39 things. They just mentioned 2 things there. Tishbos, you should rest from. Maybe it says over there, al charisha val ktsirachai. Maybe only those cases, those 2 things are unique. That maybe only those 2 require their own chatas, but everything else is like one big group of chatas. So maybe al charish v'katzir chayiv shtayim v'al kulaninu chayiv v'alagas, and for all the others only chayiv one. Tamaloymar, therefore it says loy sevaru eish. Therefore the pasuk points out another one comes out loy sevaru eish. Do not go ahead and kindle a fire. And Havaru Bichlal Haisa, it was included in all the 39 malachas of Kaisev and Melech, whatever, all the other malachas. Balama Yasa. And why was it separated? Lahaki Shalat, to learn from it. To teach you. Just like kindling a fire is one of the 39 malachas. It's an av malacha, and you're chayiv if you just do that on your own. Why? Because it's singled out in the pasuk. You shouldn't go ahead and kindle a fire, meaning if you kindle a fire, you're chayiv achatas for that. So to all the others, av kol shu av malacha. So to anything which is an av malacha, chayivin ala b'fnei atzma. You're chayiv b'fnei atzma. It's a chayiv on its own. So therefore, from here we see that just like kindling a fire, because it's singled out that you're chayiv for that. So to any of the av malachos, you're chayiv for separate chadas for each one, and therefore, since there's 39 of them, as we learned from Eila Hadvarim, which is the number, right? So therefore, you can be chayiv for 39 chatos.
Rabbi,
So,
I have a question. So I don't understand. You're telling me, or you're telling us that this is not chayav misa. It says you die many times, your money, so that's a chatas offering. But for sure, I thought it was a misa. So what are we saying?
Right. So the pasuk, there was already a pasuk that says if you work on Shabbos, you should die.
Right.
So why do you got to tell me again? If you work on Shabbos, right? You should surely die. I mean, you already said that. What are you coming to teach us to include? So the Gemara learns out that if it's not needed to tell us that if a person does something purposely and he's warned, right, and he shouldn't do it, and he does malacha anyways, he's put to death, we don't need that because we already had a pasuk. So what are you coming to teach you by? It says mos yumas. So it's telling you that, and remember, this was Shmuel's source. Right. Shmuel said that you bring chatas. So if this was Shmuel's source, which is good you pointed out, so the question is, why didn't he learn like Rav Nassan? Rav Nassan learned it from Lo Sevaru Eish, meaning that you can bring 39 chatos. Why didn't you learn it from Mos Yumas to teach you 39 malachos? What's the difference? So my answer is Shmuel sever like Rabbi Yosi. He holds like Rabbi Yosi. The Amar Havar Lav Yatza. He holds it's different. He says the lav of Lo Sevaru Eish to kindle a fire is actually not the same as the others. It's actually coming to tell you you're not chayiv misa for it. It's only a lav. The lav yatza. The tiny learn in Brisa. Havar the lav yatza divrei Rabbi Yosi. What's the reason why you should not kindle a fire is singled out? It's because it's different than the others, because it's something which it's only a lav, it's not misa. And Rav Nassan Aimer, no, l'chalek yatsa. And Rav Nassan says, no, it comes to tell you, like we just taught, that it comes to tell you that each and every malacha, just like Lo Sevaru Eish, your chayiv its own chatas and misa, so too all the others, your chayiv its own chatas and misa. Fine. So in other words, Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yosi there, and Rabbi Yosi argues with Rav Nassan in that brisa. So back to the question. So Rabbi Yosi himself, he had his own source to how do you know that each of the malachos are separated and you can bring a separate chatas for each malacha. So Shmuel, once again, as pointed out by Andrew, we learned for the pasuk of Mos Yumas that we learned over there that you can bring multiple. So why did Shmuel bring his own source of Mos Yumas? Why didn't he learn like that which Rabbi Yosi learned several generations earlier? The Tanya learned in Brisa, Rabbi Yosi Aimer, it says v'achas v'asa mi'achas mehena. So the pasuk says, I'm just going to read the pasuk. It says, "Daber al bnei Yisrael le'mor nefesh ki sechta b'shgaga." Right, when a person goes ahead and he sins, right, b'shgaga. I'm just reading from the pasuk on the side. Mikol mitzvahs Hashem, for any of the mitzvahs of Hashem, asher lo tasena, which he's not supposed to do. The asa, or the asa mi'achas mehena, right, and he does one of them from them. Me'achas mehena. Okay, so now the Gemara is going to point out the funny lashon of me'achas and mehena. So it says, "V'yasa me'achas mehena." So pamim shechayiv achas al kulan. So it says over there, one from them, right? So it sounds like singular, plural. It's all big mishmash, right? So there are times that a person is chayiv achas al kulan. In other words, he's chayiv one chatas for doing multiple things, right? And upamim shechayiv al kol achas v'achas. And there are times where he's chayiv for each and every thing he did wrong, right? Like as we see in our Mishnah, right? That we start out the question of the day. Sometimes you're chayiv for the entire Shabbos one, and sometimes you're chayiv for each and every malacha, right? Which we're going to explain, like we said, if he makes one mistake, right, he's going to bring one. If he makes multiple mistakes, he'll bring multiple, right? But we're going to explain that soon. And then Amar Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Chanina, my time of the Rabbi Yosi. What's the reason called Rabbi Yosi? So he says achas me'achas, right? It says me'achas, but it could have just said achas. So therefore you have to darshan achas and me'achas and heina me'heina, right? And also the word from, it could have said achas heina, right? One of them, but it says one from them, right? So also, once again, the mem is extra. So achas she heina and heina she achas, right? So therefore you can have a situation with one that is many and many that is one. So first of all, now achas. Now, first we're going to go into the first part. The first part we said achas me achas. So achas, let's say, and we're actually going to see this later on later on in the parak in Shabbos. So it says achas. A person intends to write the word Shimon on Shabbos. Now, one kaisev writing is forbidden on Shabbos. I guess they used to, I believe, because they used to go ahead and mark the different parts. And they would write different things that would need to be necessary for written for the building of the Mishkan. So kaisev is considered to be one of the avos malachos. And so let's say a person is intending to write the word Shimon, right? And me'achas. And then he says one me'achas. He only does part of it. He writes Shem. Now remember, the word Shimon starts with Shem Mem. But another thing, Shem Mem, which is the minimum amount of letters for a word. You can't have a one-letter word, but you can have a two-letter word. Now the word Shem means name. Okay, now when you start off writing Shimon, right, you write Shen Mem. And all of a sudden, if you stop right there, even though his intentions were to go ahead and write the complete word of Shimon, nevertheless, he wrote, and he was stopped, he still wrote a word. He wrote Shem. So in such a case, right, maybe you think maybe he's not chai because his intentions in the beginning when he started off was to write the entire word of Shimon, and then he was stopped after writing Shen Mem. But if you say over here, achas Shimon, me'achas Shem. So if he does that, he's chai in such a case. Shem is Shimon, because the word Shem comes from Shimon and is part of it, and therefore you be chai. And then we say heina avos, and then we say from them one is chai for another drasha that Rabbi Yossi has. It says heina, which is plural. In other words, a person's chai for avos for each and every av malacha category, right? And meheina from them, right? From the heinas, from them. Also, even though there's multiple avos malachos, 39 of them. Many of them have subcategories. Those are tolados. So therefore, one is also chayiv, right? Achatas for even tolados, not just the avos malachos, but even tolados, even the subcategories. One does a subcategory, he would also be chayiv. So Rabbi Yossi is just teaching two separate halachas, nothing to do with our case. One is when it comes to writing Shem from Shimon, that you want to be chayiv in such a case. And another case is heina meheina, is referring to not only avos malachos are chayiv achatas, but even tolados are chayiv achatas. Now, Rabbi Yossi's proof when coming back to our Gemara. So
wait,
what is...
What if I just write Aleph, just one letter? I'm not chayav?
So there's an entire paragraph I think later on when it deals with writing, but yeah, I believe it has to be a word, right?
Or
it has to be a word, and
at least two letters, right?
2 letters is the word, correct? Yeah. Now, so you say achas shehena. So what do you learn achas shehena? Right, one that's a lot. So that's a case of our case of Zodon Shabbos v'shigas malachos. Right, he does Shabbos, right, but he's shugging in many malachos. He doesn't know you can't write. He doesn't know you can't cook. He doesn't know you can't grind. He doesn't know all those things. So even though it's one Shabbos, he violated. Nevertheless, he'll be chayiv multiple chatos for all those mistakes. And heina shehi achas, right? And many, that's one. That's a case of shiga Shabbos v'zadam malachos. He knows you can't do all this stuff at Shabbos. He just thought today was it was Friday. He didn't realize it was Saturday. So the question is, why didn't Shmuel go ahead and learn like Rabbi Yossi? Why did he bring his own proof from Mos Yumas? So Shmuel achashi heina she achas loy mashal. He doesn't darshan this word like this. He doesn't have the Masarah of this drasha. And therefore, he doesn't darshan, right, one that is many, many that is one. And since he doesn't have that drasha, he's not unavailable to go ahead and darshan out that there's a difference that one could bring multiple chatos. And therefore, Shmuel brings it from his own source from Mechela Mos Yumas. Fine. Boimine, 2 dots over there, 5 lines on the top on Ayin and Beis. Boimine, Rava me Rav Nachman. So Rava asks a question for Rav Nachman. Hala. Let's say a guy, right? He's clueless, right? Doesn't know what day it is, and he doesn't know about Shabbos, right? He doesn't know the halachas right? That you can't cook and all that. And he also didn't realize what day was. He had both mistakes. He was shogeg on Shabbos and also shogeg when it comes to the malachas. So mahu, what's the halacha there? Samarlei, hare helam Shabbos biyado, ve'eno chai v'lachas. Well, what do you mean? He made the mistake of, he didn't realize it was Saturday. And therefore, so that's the one major mistake. Therefore, he should bring one because it was shogeg b'Shabbos. So he says, Adarabba, hare helam malachas biyado. What do you mean? He didn't know about the different malachas of Shabbos, and therefore he should be v'chai kol achas v'yachas. He should be chai for each and every one. Elam Ravashi chai zinan. We see. Imishum Shabbos kaparish. If it's because of Shabbos that he would have refrained, hare helam Shabbos biyado. Therefore, his crucial mistake was not knowing Shabbos. Therefore, he should bring one. Ve'eno chai v'lachas. He should only bring one. And imishum malachas kaparish. And if it's because of the malacha, he would stop hare helam malachas biyado. And therefore, it's really the mistake of the malachas, his awareness of the malachas biyado v'chai kol achas v'achas. And he should be chai for each and every one. So once again, we had this svara Amud Aleph, and the Gemara was going to ask the same question. It says Amalei Ravina Ravashi. Klum parish Shabbos el mashum malachos, right? The only reason why on Saturday, right, that you don't cook and clean is because those malachos are problematic on Saturday, right? And klum parish malachos el mashum Shabbos, and people only they don't cook and clean only because it's Shabbos. So in other words, the two are connected. You can't one without the other wouldn't work, right? The only reason you can't cook if it's Saturday and you're not allowed to cook, right? Ella loishna tanan. Elo loishna. Rather, loishna doesn't make a difference. And Rashi points out what does loishna mean over here. It means loishna. Rashi says you're only chayav one, right? You're only chayav one. In other words, so if a person doesn't realize it's Shabbos and he doesn't know about the malachos, then you're only chayav one chatas for that day. So tonight we learn in the Mishnah. It says later on. We saw this Mishnah earlier, and this is a Mishnah later on. Avos malachos are chaser achas. So the avos malachos, there are 39 of them, 40 minus 1, right? 39 of them. They ask, why do you need a count, right? Do we need a math, right? Math course? Right? We don't know how to count? We can count. Why do you got to tell me, right? So what's the point? If you do one of them in a moment of lack of awareness, then you can be chayiv for each every one up to 39. So now going back to our question. If we hold that a person is unaware that it's Shabbos and he's also doesn't know about the malachos, and in that case, you would say you have to bring for each and every malacha. So it works well. Why? Because the case where you bring 39 chatos is this case. He doesn't realize it's Shabbos, right? Because he's shogeg on both. He's shogeg on Shabbos and simply say he doesn't know about Shabbos, he doesn't know about malachos, and therefore, and all of a sudden they teach him about Shabbos, and by the way, that day that was on Saturday. So then he brings multiple chatos, and it makes sense. Eli Amar Helam Shabbos biyado enachayiv elachas. But if you say in this case that if he had one, he didn't realize both, right? That he would only chayiv one. Heichi mishkachas la. How would you find this case? In other words, that if you hold that when you have to bring 39 malachas, it can't be a case where he doesn't know it's Shabbos and doesn't know it's malachas, because that case, you just told me you have to bring one, right? So that case, really, you have to bring 39. So it can't be that case. So that case must be he knows about Shabbos, but he doesn't know. He knows today is Saturday and it's Shabbos, but he doesn't know about each that this malacha is considered to be wrong. Right? Where he knows it's Shabbos, but he's shogeg malachos. So now, wait, how does he know about Shabbos? If he doesn't know about a single, when we had this kasha before, a couple of blot ago, right? So how does he know about Shabbos, right? If he doesn't know about it, you can't cook, you can't, write, you can't erase, you can't crush, you can't plant, you can't plow, right? If he doesn't know that, what does he know about Shabbos?
I came very late, but I'm tuning in now.
Oh, okay. We're on the bottom of Ayin Amud Beis, maybe around 10 lines from the bottom.
All right. Thank you.
So So wait, we could have a possible situation of how he knows about Shabbos and still chayiv chatos. How is that? If he holds like Rabbi Yochanan, who we talked about yesterday, to Amar, Kevan sheshagag b'kares, afal pisha hizi b'lav mishkachas la diyadalei b'Shabbos b'lav. Remember, we described what is the case of shogeg. So it was machlokes between in the Rabbanan. I think it was actually 2 days ago, between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Now Reish Lakish said, "What's shogeg?" Shogeg says the guy doesn't know what's wrong, right? He doesn't know you're not allowed to cook on Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan has a more mechulish shita. He holds that no. What does it mean he's shogeg? He might know it's wrong, right? He knows you can't cook on Shabbos, but he doesn't know it carries a kares violation with it. He doesn't know there's kares, right, involved. So that's called shogeg. So in other words, maybe you can find a case with Chai 39. How does he know about Shabbos? He knows you can't write and you can't plant and you can't plow. He knows all that. He just doesn't know there's a kares attached to them. So therefore, right, he's aware of Shabbos. He knows that today, he knows all about Shabbos. He just didn't know that these violations that he did carried a kares. So therefore, he would be chayav seberchatas. Ela Yisav or Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, but if you like Reish Lakish, Damar Achi Yishkog Balava Kares, that only way to be called a shogeg is when he's unaware that it's the kares, and he's even unaware that it's forbidden to do. So the Yadalei Shabbos be my. How does he know about Shabbos? So the answer is the Yadalei b'tchumen ve'alibed Rabbi Kiva. He must hold, like we said last time, that he holds a tchumen, or like Rabbi Kiva holds his daraisa. In other words, that a person cannot leave the tchum, and therefore, such a case, a person. He's not allowed to do. So therefore, that's the concept of Shabbos that he knows about, but he doesn't know about specific malachos. So therefore, that's qualified as knowing about Shabbos. Fine. Two dots. We'll start the sugya, even though we're going to get into it. I think today's Friday, right? We'll continue it on Sunday, but we'll start now. So Amar Rava says Rava Katzer v'tachan kegregres b'shigas Shabbos v'zad malachos. A guy, so he's doing two malachos in these cases here, right? There's ktsira. Right, ktsira is harvesting, right, and tachan is grinding, right. So he cuts and he grinds a kagurgras, right, a dried fig, something the size of a dried fig, knows the minimum shear, and he's shogeg on Shabbos and he's out of malachos. He knows it's forbidden to do. He just didn't realize it's Saturday. He thought it was he thought it was Sunday. So he did that. The chazar, the katzar, the tachan could grow gerais bezadan Shabbos shigas malachos, and then later on, without realizing that he made a mistake, right? He knew it was Saturday, right? And then, but he was shogeg. Then he didn't realize that which he was doing, maybe he was harvesting in a different way. He didn't realize that this harvesting was, and this harvesting and this grinding was forbidden on Shabbos. Then. The noidalo al katsira tchina shashiga Shabbos v'zar malachos. Then he realized that his first actions. Remember, his first actions was done when he didn't realize it was Saturday. All of a sudden, he realized, oh my God, right? It was Shabbos when I did that, right? So now it's such a case. Remember, you made one mistake. He didn't realize it was Shabbos for two malachos. He should only be chayiv one, right? The chazar, and then he was informed, or he realized. Then he realized later on, when he did the other types of harvesting and grinding, he realized that those things are forbidden malachas on Shabbos. In such a case, one would be chayiv two. So now, remember, the first one, chronologically, the first one he did was chayiv one for doing two malachas, and then later, without realizing in between, and then later on, he realized he did something, right, that would be mechayiv him two. Now, so what's the halacha there? Ktsira, goireres ktsira. Right? So now, since he realized the first one, so the first category, right, he would be chayiv one korban for both the ktsira and the tchina. So that which he brings the first one, it also includes the malacha of ktsira that he did afterwards. In other words, so it covers it, right? In other words, since I'm already bringing my chatas A, right, for the melacha of ktsira, so therefore it patters me from bringing a second chatas of ktsira, right?
Wait, let me see if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
He didn't realize it was Shabbos, and he did two malachos.
Right.
Okay, so he would only be chayav one chatas.
Yes.
Or one Shabbos, because it
Shabbos for the two of them, right?
For the two of them.
Right.
Later, he realizes it's Shabbos, and he does the two malachos.
Right.
Same
so
two malachos.
Right. So later on, he knows it's right. So this guy later on, now when he realizes it later on, when you say he realizes it,
But he
doesn't remember
know that those things are.
He didn't realize that he already erred. He didn't realize he made a mistake yet in the morning.
He forgot that what he did.
He didn't. Right. This guy was right. He's out to lunch. Right. He didn't realize what he did. So no.
So now he realizes it's Shabbos.
Right, but he doesn't know that which he's doing is usher, which would make him chayiv two things: one for tchina, one for ktsira. So what the Gemara here says is
Rabbi,
that.
aren't you only chayav for, if you do one action, you only chayav for one.
What do you mean?
But
You do three of.
we're
three,
still talking
one-
about the
one
same
shot.
Shabbos,
Doesn't matter.
correct?
You do one carbon, no?
No. One action could, if you do one thing, you can be chai. No, we say you can be chai multiple for one action, as long as they're on the same level.
Okay, we're still talking about the same Shabbos.
Yeah, same Shabbos. So now the halach
Same
is,
Shabbos.
since he realized about the first one first, that one he's chai for. Now, once he brings that chatas, or once he's obligated to bring that chatas for both techina and ketzira, it actually patters up the other two. So even though he realized later on, and he was supposed to bring two others, each one
What?
is pattered, right? Each one is pattered through the first one. All right, no, if it goes in that order. Well, let's say he was informed the opposite order. He was told about the Ksira, what he knew was Shabbos, and the Shigas Malachos. In other words, he realized he owes a Chatas from the second occurrence, the one that took place in the afternoon. So we say over there, that Ksira, Goreres Ksira, the Tchina Shima. So now that later one that he realized that he has to bring one for being Kaitzer in the afternoon, that patters up the Chatas they had to bring Ksira for that morning. And now, that Katsira of the morning was combined with Tchina. Remember, it was done together. Those two should have been pattered through one. So since with the later Katsira, he's pattering the earlier Katsira, but that Katsira went along with the Tchina that he did it, the grinding that he did it. So therefore, that korban that he brings for Katsira patters his earlier transgression of Katsira and Tchina together. The tchina shekenegda b'mkom omedes, and then the other tchina that he did also in the afternoon needs its own korban. So in such a case, he would bring two. In other words, he would bring one korban would be for the katsira itself of the second katsira, and also for the katsira and the tchina of the morning. And then the second korban will be for the tchina in the afternoon. And Abai argues, Abai Omar, tchina nami goreres tchina, shein tchina achasi. So he says no. He says, since by the fact that this one korban, right, is pattering up the katsira of the morning, and the katsira of the morning will also combine with the tchina. So therefore, I don't have to bring a separate korban for the tchina of the afternoon. In other words, it's like it goes around in a circle. Since the katsira patters up the other korban of katsira and tchina, so therefore, since the tchina is already part of that korban, I don't need to bring a separate one for the tchina of the afternoon. So in such a case, according to Abaye, you would only have to bring one korban. And we'll stop here, and the sugya, I guess, continues until Sunday. Everyone have a wonderful day, and have a wonderful Shabbos.